Kansas City now stands at that pivotal crossroads where familiar faces depart, calculated gambles are taken, and the roster is meticulously sculpted beneath the crushing weight of championship expectations. The process is anything but tranquil. The delicate equilibrium between loyalty and production, between seasoned veterans and hungry newcomers, rarely leaves room for sentimentality. Each maneuver, whether a release, a trade, or a speculative acquisition, mirrors the relentless challenge of sustaining dominance in a league engineered for parity. As the countdown begins toward another campaign, with aspirations stretching deep into February, the Chiefs' front office has already revealed its willingness to act boldly. The most recent wave of roster adjustments provides a revealing glimpse into how they are fortifying themselves for the battles ahead, beginning with a difficult decision involving a once promising young contributor. But first, a quick request. If you're enjoying the content, please hit that like button. It helps more than you realize. Thank you, sincerely. August consistently thrusts NFL franchises into uncomfortable territory as rosters constrict to the unforgiving 53-man limit. For Kansas City, a perennial powerhouse with championship or bust expectations, even the smallest personnel moves feel amplified. That reality crystallized with the release of second-year fullback Carson Steele, a move designed to trim the roster ahead of the league's cutdown deadline. Steele's path to Kansas City began with optimism. Following productive stints at Ball State and UCLA, he entered the NFL as an undrafted free agent in 2024. His reputation as a bruising downhill runner helped him stand out during off-season workouts. And when Isaiah Pacheco suffered a fractured fibula early in the season, Steele was thrust into the spotlight. Starting in Week 3 against Atlanta, he delivered 72 yards on 17 carries. That early flash of potential, however, quickly dimmed. The midseason arrival of Kareem Hunt relegated Steele to the background, where he primarily contributed on special teams. The statistics told the story of an uneven rookie campaign. 56 carries for 185 rushing yards, 3 costly fumbles, and a modest 3.3 yards per attempt. He added 10 receptions for 37 yards, logging 201 offensive snaps, alongside 137 on special teams. Determined to expand his value, Steele entered training camp intent on showcasing himself as a versatile Swiss Army knife, capable of plugging gaps at fullback, running back, and special teams. Yet the preseason yielded little evidence to bolster his case, with just 31 rushing yards on 8 attempts. Because Steele lacks the required accrued seasons, his release sent him through waivers. If unclaimed, Kansas City could re-sign him to the practice squad, where he may linger as an insurance option should injuries strike. That remains a possibility, though the active roster has moved forward without him. For head coach Andy Reid, the decision reflects a broader philosophical approach to roster construction. Reid has traditionally valued the presence of a fullback, albeit with exceptions, and Steele was once seen as a potential solution to that preference. Without him, situational alternatives may emerge from tight ends like Robert Tonyan or Noah Gray, who are capable of handling hybrid blocking responsibilities. Yet roster cuts were only the beginning. Kansas City's maneuvers also included exploring trade options for pivotal defensive pieces. Just ahead of the cutdown deadline, the front office finalized a deal to reacquire a familiar face, defensive tackle Derrick Nnadi. The trade with the New York Jets cost Kansas City only a conditional 2027 draft pick, projected to settle in the 6th or 7th round. Nnadi is hardly an unfamiliar name at Arrowhead. Drafted by the Chiefs in the 3rd round of 2018, he spent 7 seasons anchoring the defensive interior, offering reliability and steadiness throughout much of his tenure. However, his role diminished drastically last season, logging just one start despite appearing in all 17 contests. He finished with 11 tackles while playing only 20% of defensive snaps, the lowest percentage of his career. After signing with the Jets in March, Nnadi quickly found himself buried in a crowded defensive line rotation, and New York's recent reinforcements made him expendable. His return to Kansas City represents a low-risk, depth-driven solution, though his production has waned, evidenced by his 2024 Pro Football Focus grade of 35.8. The Chiefs know the player, the system, and the fit. Whether he can carve out meaningful snaps this season remains uncertain, but his presence provides another layer of insurance for a roster intent on chasing another Lombardi.
Anchored by proven starters along the defensive interior, Derrick Nnadi's veteran savvy and deep familiarity with Steve Spagnuolo's system make him a natural fit as a rotational asset for Kansas City. This move signals more than a simple roster tweak. It reflects a comprehensive recalibration. Last season's 15-2 campaign ended in heartbreak on the Super Bowl stage, where the Philadelphia Eagles ruthlessly exposed defensive vulnerabilities. In response, the Chiefs' leadership has sought ways to fortify depth across the board, recognizing that maintaining championship excellence demands versatility as much as sheer firepower. But the conversation doesn't stop there. One analyst suggests the Chiefs could execute an even more audacious maneuver involving a youthful offensive tackle. Even with Nnadi returning, Kansas City's roster puzzle is far from complete. General Manager Brett Veach remains relentless, balancing difficult roster cuts with long-term construction. Recent outside proposal floated the idea of shipping offensive tackle Wanya Morris to the Falcons in exchange for cornerback Clark Phillips III. ESPN's Bill Barnwell grounded the idea in Kansas City's surplus of offensive line talent, with like Kingsley Swamataya sliding inside to guard, Jalen Moore providing tackle insurance, and first-rounder Josh Simmons bolstering the mix. The Chiefs could conceivably afford to part with Morris. That flexibility could unlock a pathway to acquiring Phillips, a promising defensive back with untapped upside, currently fighting for a roster spot in Atlanta. Phillips, a 2023 Utah product, has already appeared in 27 career games, posting 62 tackles, 10 pass deflections, and 1 interception. While his coverage metrics dipped from a passer rating allowed of 88.8 as a rookie to 107.5 last year, advanced analytics tell a more encouraging story. Pro Football Focus ranked him 19th among all corners in 2024, awarding strong grades in both coverage and run support. His contract is equally appealing, less than $3 million over 2 seasons, making him a budget-friendly depth piece for a cap-conscious contender. At only 23 years old, Phillips would inject both youth and flexibility into a secondary that will inevitably be tested over the grind of a 17-game campaign. Meanwhile, Morris's trajectory in Kansas City has been anything but stable. Despite logging 11 starts last year, questions surrounding his durability and inconsistent play continue to cast doubt on his future. The Chiefs even shifted Joe Thuney to left tackle and signed veteran DJ Humphries to steady protection, signaling a lack of long-term confidence in Morris's dependability. With the offensive tackle pipeline fortified and the defensive backfield still thin, the rationale behind Barnwell's suggestion is hard to dismiss. Beyond the trenches, speculation also circles around Kansas City's backfield. Despite Patrick Mahomes' aerial brilliance, the Chiefs continue exploring ways to bolster rushing depth. One intriguing scenario involves a potential trade for former Pro Bowler Miles Sanders, currently buried on the Dallas Cowboys depth chart. Sanders' career has been a tale of peaks and valleys. His zenith came in 2022 with the Philadelphia Eagles when he racked up 1,269 rushing yards, scored 11 touchdowns, and earned a Pro Bowl berth. Since then, however, stints with Carolina and Dallas have been far less productive, with only 432 rushing yards in 2023 and 205 in 2024. A crowded Dallas backfield, featuring Javonte Williams and rookie Jaden Blue, paired with a nagging summer knee injury, has pushed him further down the rotation. That reality could open the door for Kansas City to scoop him up as a low-cost veteran addition. At 28, Sanders is no longer a feature back, but his pass-catching skills could slot neatly into Andy Reid's offensive blueprint. Screens, checkdowns, and designed plays in space could become dangerous weapons when paired with Mahomes' pinpoint accuracy. While Sanders wouldn't single-handedly solve the Chiefs' backfield questions, his experience and versatility could provide meaningful support behind Isaiah Pacheco and Kareem Hunt. So now it's over to you, Chiefs Kingdom. What's your take? Would trading away Derrick Nnadi be a shrewd step toward the future? Or does his veteran presence remain too valuable to surrender? Do you buy into Barnwell's bold proposal of swapping Wanya Morris for Clark Phillips III? Or should Kansas City hold tight to their young tackle? And finally, Miles Sanders. Could he inject a spark into Kansas City's backfield? Or is he simply another fading name past his prime? Y'all better strap in, because what I'm about to reveal is going to send shockwaves through the entire NFL universe. This ain't your run-of-the-mill locker room chatter. This is championship-tier drama that's got me fired up and locked in. Stay with me until the very end, because I'm dropping some cold, hard truth that every single Chiefs fan needs to hear. Drop a W in the comments if you still believe in the kingdom. Drop an L if you think the dynasty is slipping. And don't forget to smash that subscribe button while you're at it. Now listen closely, because what we've got brewing in the NFL right now has more plot twists than a primetime thriller. And I'm here to break it all down for you, step by jaw-dropping step. See, I've been around this league long enough to know when somebody's blowing smoke, and right now, Miami is lighting up the sky with delusional fireworks. There's a certain wide receiver down in South Beach who's been flapping his gums, like he's already got next year's Lombardi trophy sitting on his nightstand. Now don't get me wrong, confidence is essential in this league. You need swagger to survive. But there's a fine line between confidence and full-blown delusion. And after hearing what this dude had to say, I started wondering if too much. Florida sun is frying some brain cells. Let me remind y'all who we're talking about. The Kansas City Chiefs. Not just any football team, the reigning titans of the NFL. A dynasty built on excellence. 3 consecutive Super Bowl appearances. Back-to-back titles. A blueprint for sustained dominance. This empire wasn't built on hype. It was forged through brilliant drafting, tactical free agency moves, and a championship culture that breeds winners. Since 2020, no team, let me repeat, no team has reached the mountaintop more consistently than Kansas City. While others flapped their jaws about greatness, the Chiefs were out there proving it week after week. Players have come and gone. Cap space has tightened. Critics have chirped. Yet through it all, Kansas City kept stacking. Wins and raising banners, that's the dividing line in this league. The difference between pretenders and certified contenders. But apparently, some folks got amnesia when it comes to recognizing greatness. Now let's talk about this former Chiefs receiver. Yeah, the one who used to catch passes from Patrick Mahomes and bask in the glow of championship culture. He knew what it felt like to be part of a machine that wins when the lights are brightest. And now, he's in Miami, chirping like the Dolphins are about to steamroll the AFC like it's 1972 all over again. Again, I respect belief. I respect grit, but belief without results, that's just noise. Let's not forget, the Miami Dolphins haven't won a single playoff game since the year 2000. Let that marinate. That's before smartphones, before social media, before half the league was even born. While Kansas City's been hoarding Lombardi, trophies like collector's items, Miami's been stockpiling heartbreaks and early off-season tea times. But none of that seems to matter when a podcast mic is hot and a platform's waiting. This guy boldly declared that the Dolphins are taking the AFC, not contending, not making a run. Taking it. Like the AFC is a clearance rack they can just scoop up at checkout. The nerve. The unfiltered audacity. You're telling me a franchise that hasn't sniffed playoff success in 2 decades is just gonna waltz through a conference that includes juggernauts like Kansas City, Baltimore, and Cincinnati? Please. That's not confidence. That's a fantasy. But wait. It gets even wilder. This same wideout had the gall to say his quarterback is the best in the league. Let me say that again. The best in the entire NFL. Now I've heard hot takes, but this one had me checking if I was watching a comedy sketch. We talking about the same QB who's never won a playoff game? The one with more concussion scares than playoff completions? The one quarterbacking a team that's made a habit of letting fans down when it counts? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Below, smash that like button and subscribe for more Chiefs coverage. Let's keep the kingdom strong together. See you in the next one.